Ford shows off its heritage with their 2023 Bronco Sport. I'm Jay, Steph's on vacation, and this is Modern Motoring. Welcome to the 2023 Ford Bronco Sport Heritage Edition, and this will be a bit of a quick review because mechanically all the bits are the same, and it's just a cool heritage paint job and some little nods as far as design goes that really separates it from the Big Bend as well as the base. I felt that said that funny, Big Bend as well as the base. So let's start off with what's underneath the hood. So it is the 1.5 liter EcoBoost 3-cylinder. EcoBoost is the Ford term for turbo, and it's got 181 horsepower, 190 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. We have the all-wheel drive here, and it drives the same as the 2022 and the 2021, and it's a good city car, and it's got a lot of capability. So Ford's looking to have the best of both worlds with the Bronco Sport. Now, it's not a Bronco by any means. The Bronco has much more capability, and it's more aligned with the Wrangler on the Jeep side, whereas the Bronco Sport is closely aligned with the Cherokee as far as the Jeep offering, because there is no small Wrangler. Quick note on driving impressions, it drives fine, it drives well. If you want something with more power, the higher trims do get a 2-liter turbo engine, EcoBoost, if we're going on the correct terms, and that ends up with 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque, which is significantly higher. If your primary driver and your needs for a vehicle are city driving and urban driving, but you want to have a little bit of that off-road capability, not that you're going to go off-roading every single weekend or as often as you can, but if you are doing some rural driving, or if you have a longer cottage driveway and it's a year-round cottage and there's snow or mud or just anything but perfectly paved conditions, the Bronco Sport is absolutely a strong choice in the segment. On the road, it fares well, and it's a little on the taller side, so don't go whipping around your twists and turns at higher speeds, and you'll feel a little bit of the body roll, and there's a slight lag with the turbo. So just to show you, I'm gonna bring it down to, I don't know, let's say 20, and I'll step down. There it is. So around 5,000 revs, it really kicks in hard, and you know, it does the job exactly as it's meant to. The weird thing I've found since the Bronco Sport came out is how it competes with the Escape, and it's got a little more ruggedness than the Escape, both on the design and as far as propulsion goes. So I personally think the Escape's going to go away in the next couple of years, and that the Bronco Sport will take its place. The Escape just had a light refresh for the, I believe, 2024 model year. It's out now, but to wrap up the whole driving experience, it drives well. The all-wheel drive certainly helps, especially in Canadian climates. It's capable, and it's a really good year-round vehicle. Let's take a look at the outside and the light blue paint job. I think it looks beautiful, and I like that Ford's gone with a bit of a retro feel here. Not really a bit, a full retro feel. So you get the white steelies, you get the white roof, you get the light blue paint. Now there is also a red one. I believe it's called red pepper red. It's something with a pepper in it as far as the red one. You may have seen in some other reviews. There's also, I believe, a yellow one and a couple of other colors, but good for Ford for adding a little bit of flair without having to really redesign the entire Bronco Sport. And this is not a mid-cycle refresh at all. It is just a special edition, and mechanical bits are the same. It's just the exterior. Still has the typical rear glass that lifts up on the Bronco Sport, and you have that cool functional table in the rear if you so choose to have a little more functionality, whether you're off-roading or camping or kayaking or whatever it is that you need a little bit of extra functional and useful space for. The Bronco Sport is a pretty cool choice. There's the stripes along the door panel in white, which looks pretty nice, and the scripted Bronco just in front of the front door also adds a nice little touch. I really like the grille because it just stands out. It's got the word Bronco in red, and it's got the white background for the actual grille itself. And I think it looks really nice as far as this combination goes, the red, white, and light blue. On the inside, you'll notice there's a navy pier interior theme, and I think it looks really sharp. I like the wheels that stand out just enough without being overly engineered and overly designed as far as the aesthetics go. And I think Ford really nailed it here, and there's still the functional bits. So you have your infotainment. It's a little on the small side, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It's still functional. It's responsive. It does everything it needs to. There's a little storage bin beneath it, and you have your hard touch for your HVAC, which is to me the most important, because I don't don't care at all for what Ford's doing with their new line of vehicles, like the Mustang Mach-E, for example, where it's all one massive screen and you've got to dig through it for pretty much everything. Now, part of this includes the Heritage package. You get a standard size sunroof, a wireless charger, and a couple of other bits. The wireless charger does come in handy, but you also get a bunch of USB ports. So if connectivity is your thing, the Bronco Sport Heritage definitely has you covered here. Just behind your rotary gear selector are your GOAT modes, and I probably could have put this in the driving section, but it's a clear and sunny summer day, so I'll quickly run through what the GOAT modes are for you. You have your normal and your eco and your sport, slippery, and your sans. Seats are pretty good. I've had more comfortable seats, and with the lumbar support, it still feels like there's this little piece at the bottom of the seat back that's just pushed in a little bit, and on the discomfort scale, I'd say it's 1 out of 10. It's not anything that would stop me from buying the vehicle. I'd gotten used to it by I believe day 4 of my 7-day loan. So Ford's Copilot 360 is standard, and that gets you your automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist system, and your automatic high beams. You can get an upgraded version of that, which is the Copilot Assist Plus, and you get a few extra features there. But I think out of the box, Ford has a pretty solid grasp on decent standard safety. Now, as far as the competition goes, I see 2 of them primarily. One of them being the Cherokee, and why the Cherokee is more of a competitor this year than it was last year is they've finally put a decent engine in the Cherokee instead of that awful 2.4 Tiger Shark. There's now a solid 2-liter turbo engine, and I see that as far as comfort, capability, being aligned here with the Bronco Sport. And the second one is the Crosstrek. Not as off-roady as this, not as high off the ground, not a typical SUV shape, that's more of the Forester. But after driving the Subaru Crosstrek for a week, I believe a couple of weeks ago, it is absolutely capable and it can do a lot of cool things. So if you don't mind being a little lower to the ground compared to the Cherokee and what we have here with the Bronco Sport, take a look at the Subaru Crosstrek. Pricing wise, the Bronco Heritage Sport comes in at $41,899. It is based off the Big Bend trim, which is the second from the bottom ahead of the base, and that comes in at $38,899. So if you think it's worth the $3,000 for you to get what you have here, not all of what you have here, there are some paid upgrades in the option box that have been ticked off. Only $3,000 to go from the Big Bend to the Heritage, I think it's worth it if you are into a bit of the aesthetic side of things. I like my vehicles that stand out, and I like some of the older stuff that Ford's done here with the white steely rims and the white paint job on the top for the roof, and some of the cool colors. And yeah, I think it's absolutely worth it. If you have any questions on the 2023 Ford Bronco Sport Heritage Edition, let us know in the comments. We're always happy to hear from you, and we invite you to join our social media community. It's kind of a cool place. We're pretty big on TikTok, which is interesting. We'll take it. And we really appreciate you. We thank you for watching. We wouldn't have a channel without you. So with that, on behalf of Steph and myself, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.